Video on how to make a face mask if you have to go out during this pandemic.
Equipment. 1 tea towel,
Yeah,
a tape measure,
yeah,
some cotton, some wire you might find in the garden. We found some scraps of wire which are perfectly adequate. Some cutters, some tape, scissors, and a basic sewing machine. Yeah.
so step one, cut the ends off your tea towel.
From the short sides.
Yeah.
Ends, so you can say, can double up as ties. Measure to 8 inches. I'm using the lines on my tea towel to cut. And cut your tea towel into 3 pieces.
That's the last line, using end strips.
The wire.
So now you got your 3 strips. Cut a piece of wire for each of those 3 strips.
It's about 7.5 inches long. And it's a good idea to fold the ends over so there's no sharp point that would catch in someone's face. Both ends. Does that work?
Yeah.
Fold the fabric 5 inches in half to make a pocket 5 inches deep. Take the fabric and sew a small pocket to put the wire in. With the ends folded. This is the piece which fits over your nose. Fold the sides of the fabric in all the way down and just stitch unless you have an overlocker machine. I haven't got an overlocker machine, so I'm going to sew the sides. Be careful not to catch the wire. Taking your fabric with the pocket side facing you, turn the fabric over, fold the pocket in half. So it's about 2.5 inches on each side. Then mark your darts, measuring 1 inch from the fold and taking about 1.5 to 2 inches along. Mark the dart. And you can use a pen to do this because this won't show. And the same on the other side. So 1 inch down, mark 1 inch, and taking it across to the point. You can always put this on your face to test the size and make sure it suits you. Then taking your fabric, you're going to sew the darts. Just sew along your pen line. Cut off the threads and do the same with the other side. Once you've sewn the dart, cut off the excess fabric And if you've got an overlocker, you can seal the seams so that they don't fray. You turn the mask in the right way, and then you have the beginnings of your mask. All that's left to do now is to put the ties on. And again, fit the mask to your own face, work out where you want your necktie parts to go, and do 2 ties at the top. We've used the excess of our tea towel fabric to make the ties, and you need 4 ties like this, which you're going to put at the top of your mask and just sew the fabric on. If you put the tie on the front side of your mask, it'll keep a closer seal with your skin to protect you better on the inner side. And then you just sew it on, 2 at the front and 2 at the bottom. That's 2 done. With the bottom of the mask, I suggest that you put the mask onto your face and then work out where you want your ties to be. Or you can cut off the excess fabric if you prefer. And here is the finished mask. It's done. Tie at the top and 2 ties for the bottom.
Hello, I'm Dr. Mole, and I would like to talk to you about face masks during this coronavirus pandemic that we're experiencing. Many of you have either bought your own face masks, or you may have even made your own face masks. If you have a face mask, it is not the most important thing to protect yourself against the virus. The most important thing to protect yourself against the virus is washing your hands, because you're more likely to touch something or pick something up on your hands and then touch your face and actually transmit the virus that way. However, if you have a mask, I've got a few tips to make sure that you get the best out of your mask, whether it's one that you've made by yourself or whether it's one you've bought online. The most important thing with a mask is to make sure it fits properly. Now, one of my colleagues has made this mask. This is made out of a tea towel. But no matter what mask you have, you must make sure it fits properly. So this one has got a little wire in the top of it, and it's really important to make sure it fits really nice and snugly over your nose, and to make sure there are no gaps on either side. So I'm going to put the mask on now. So if you have ribbon, make sure it's attached nice and tightly at the top of your head. And at the bottom, bearing in mind you're going to have to remove this at some point. So as I said, make sure it fits nice and snugly. So over the bridge of the nose, and make sure as little gap is on the side as possible. The next most important thing is to make sure you are not touching the mask. So don't touch the mask. Also, don't be tempted to pull it down like this and then put it back up like this. Once it's on, the next most important thing is removing the mask. Remember, you do not want to be taking the mask off like this. The mask may well have bits of virus attached to it. So, what you want to make sure is that you don't remove the mask like that. If you've got ear loops, just remove those. This one I've tied myself, so you can just untie it. And this is why it's important to remember how you tied it up on the first place, so that you can remove it nice and easily. So it's easier to take the bottom one off first, and then the top one, which I can't. but you can do it that way. And then again, don't touch the front of the mask. You take this, if it's a mask that you are reusing, you put it straight in the washing machine and you'd wash it straight away, okay? Or if it's a mask like this, then you can always fold it up that way and make sure you're not touching the front of it, and then put it straight in the washing machine or the rubbish bin. If you follow those tips, then you will reduce your risk of transmitting a virus from your mask to yourself. Thank you.